I'd say the personalities, it's a really helpful environment to work in. You're going to come across things that you've never seen before, things that you just don't know what to do with, and it's the environment where you can go into the office or phone a friend and they're always willing to help you. They're always willing to share their knowledge, give their advice. So it's just a very helpful learning environment to be in. I think the benefits of working for the HSE is that it's the variety of what you get to do. No week is the same. You get to go out to a site, you get to do inspections, but then in the same week you can be standing in front of a judge, doing a prosecution or taking a witness statement. So it's the type of job that you never get bored. There's always something to do, there's always something to learn. And it's, yeah, I think that's a great benefit, that you can develop a career in the HSE and you can learn new things and always be challenged. You never ever get bored. With the HSE, they've got a very clear purpose, they've got very clear aims of what they want to do, and that goes through from the top down. So you know when you're coming into work, you know that you're here to make life safer for people, whether that's through inspections or through investigations or proactive work or reactive work. So you come in and you know what you're here to do. I think what makes it unique is that we get to go and experience people's working lives. You get a glimpse into industries that I never ever thought I'd go and see in. So I got to see how plastic sheets are made. I've been able to see behind the scenes of an airport. I've been able to see houses going up, ground being dug out, cranes operating. There's such a wide variety of industries that you get to be part of and see and influence, that I think that's quite a unique position for us to be in. I'd say collaborative, hardworking and supportive. I think like anyone, the preconception is that we are fun-killing traffic wardens. We're all these boring people who we go around with our clipboard telling you that you can't do anything and trying to make everything harder and to stop things progressing. And I think what I've found from joining the HSE is that actually it's the complete opposite. So we're actually progressive, we're actually working with industry, we're driving industry. We work with them to make sure that things can be done as safely as it can. And I think what industries that we work with do get and do grasp, which unfortunately possibly isn't put out there for everybody else to understand, is that when a working environment is healthy and safe, that actually it's more productive, that it increases productivity, that it actually gives people things like a work-life balance, and that people get to go home safely at the end of the day. So to me, yeah, that's... So I've been in the HSE just over 3 years, and prior to that I was already in the civil service. So I worked for the Office of the Public Guardian and I was an investigator, which was more financial and it was also civil law. So when I joined the HSE, I was able to use those skills that I'd gained as an investigator and have been able to transfer those into part of my role as an inspector for when I am carrying out investigations. So that's what I did before the HSE. I think what I enjoy most is the variety of what I get to do. I get to go and do different things in a week, but also you do feel like you are making a difference. There's that moment where you've gone to visit a contractor at a site and maybe they've done something that wasn't good enough and they've had to do some corrective measures, and then you see them again on another site and actually they're doing it right, and you do feel like in those little moments of, oh, actually what I'm doing is making a difference. And there's that satisfaction of walking away from a site and knowing that you've left it in a safer way than it was before you got there, that no one's going to get injured from just being there doing their daily work. I think I'm a bit of a perfectionist and I like to know what I'm doing, and I think the challenging thing about this job is that some days you just don't know. You don't know what you're going to get when you walk into a site. Yes, you might be going to see a house being built and you know that you might going to see some things like a scaffold or a trench, so you've got an idea about what's actually in there, but you don't know what you're going to see when you walk in. You don't know if what you're going to see is good or bad, how the reaction of someone's going to be. So it's challenging. It's also really the exciting part of our job as well, that it does keep you on your toes. But it is that challenge that every day you're going to walk in and you're going to see something different or experience something different. And that can be quite challenging at times. So yeah, one of the difficult and challenging part of our job sometimes is dealing with the bereaved families where there's been a fatal incident or someone who's been seriously injured and their lives have changed. And I think that really brings home the humanity and the human element in what we do, that it really informs why I do what I do, and I take that with me whenever I go to a site. I take that with me, that I know that yes, I might be talking about falling off a scaffold, but I know that I've just dealt with a bereaved family of someone who's died from that. So I think when you do have to deal with a bereaved family and you do have to deal with people who have had life-changing injuries, that it does really inform and it also motivates you to make sure that you're doing the best job that you can do. I think the training for the regulated training programme is quite an intensive course that you go through. So you get the classroom-based learning, you do your home study, but you've also got your on-the-job training. So for the first 2 years it is quite intensive. You know, you have got to pass your legal assessments, you have got to pass the training programme as it is. But on top of that, you've also got some of your continued professional development, which is where I'm at the moment. So I'm doing some more focused courses, so things on electrical safety, on asbestos. So it's a kind of job where, yes, you do your regulated training programme, but you're also continually developing your practice. And I think what's great about the HSE is they want us as inspectors to be as well trained. The commitment to training from the HSE is like nothing I've ever seen before from any other workplace, because they understand that for us to go into industry, for us to be able to go and regulate, we need to know what it is we're looking at. So the commitment and support from the top down for the HSE for training is like I've never seen before. And I think that also goes through onto your teams, that I've been really lucky in the team I'm in Birmingham, in that no matter who I speak to, they are always happy to help, they are happy to share. And I think that's what then you can then pay that forward. So when we've had new trainees come in, I've been able to do that as well. So I've been able to learn from each other, and it's that continual learning environment that you're in. So even though you've done your RTP training, actually you never stop learning. And I think that's just the life of an inspector, you do never stop learning. Yeah, it has, because I think we've done safety very well, and it's very easy for us as inspectors to go into a site and to look at, oh, there's a part missing of a scaffold, someone could fall off that or fall into that. And it is sometimes hard to challenge some of the health issues. I think in construction, when you're dealing with asbestos, you've got a whole industry that understands it, but then you've got things like silicosis, and trying to talk to people about something that they might not get, or they might get in 10, 15 years. And that's quite challenging to try and get them to understand why we're asking them to do what we're doing. But I think there has been a change in the industry, and I've seen that just in the 3 years that I've been in the HSE, that people are now a lot more aware of the health issues. It's actually one of the reasons I joined the HSE. So my dad and my uncle both worked in factories. And yes, obviously with old age you can get back problems and hearing problems, but I know that part of that is also because of the environments that they were in. It was noisy, it was loud, there was a lot of heavy lifting, and I think actually if we can make it so that in 10, 15, 20 years time people aren't dying of asbestosis, people aren't dying of silicosis, they don't have the upper limb disorders, because these are all things that are highly preventable, they don't need to happen. So if we can do what we can do, and I like the fact that there is that push on it, and I think especially as new inspectors we are very, very pushed to look at the health and safety on a site. What would I say to someone thinking of joining the HSE? That it's the type of job that you're never going to be bored, that you're always going to be challenged. Yes, it is hard work, but it is also really rewarding, and you do feel like you're making a difference. You do feel like you're having an impact on the world around you, and it is a very, very rewarding job to do.